good. There's 4 frogs in here. 2 of them I got at Richard Riley's house a few weeks ago. But this one that I'm videoing here is one of the 2 frogs that Dad and Katie caught today at Bussy Woods. Let's see how well I can see the other one back there. Not really too well. There is another one back in the corner there. But, so now we got 4 frogs in the indoor pond. I wish I could video the other one, but he's in the corner. But at least we got a really good shot of this one. The other 2 from Richard's house have already adapted to their environment and they're at the bottom somewhere. Frogs like to stay to the bottom most of the time. That's how they roll. I'm not sure if these are regular frogs or if they're bullfrogs, but we'll find out. If they start making their wah, wah, wah noises, then you know they're bullfrogs. Dad and Katie caught another 3 frogs. There's a couple of them sitting on a rock that we put up in there. One got spooked by me and jumped away. Hello, buddy. Earlier today, although I didn't have my camera with me at the time. Oh, never mind, there's one sitting up here. Earlier there was one sitting over there, but he's over here. And this room gets a lot of flies in it, you know, little fruit flies and stuff. And the froggies like to come up here and eat the flies. I was noticing that earlier, so that's really cool. There he is. Now, oh, and we also put our dehumidifier in here for good measure. It's also raised the temperature in here a bit, so that'll be good for the winter. And here's our whole hydroponic, aquaponic setup here. Now everybody in YouTube land, y'all might be wondering, well wait a minute, if you've got a frog up there, and everything is open, there's really nothing to prevent them from getting out, what's keeping them in there? Well, that's easy. In my experiences with things like frogs, turtles, etc., because we used to have a couple of turtles, and sometimes we put them in the outdoor pond. In my experiences with that, they only try to leave their environment if they're not satisfied with it, if they're unhappy. So if an environment is too small, too dirty, etc., you know, then they're not cool with that and they try to leave. But when something like a frog or a turtle is happy with their environment and it's giving them all they need, then they're not going to try to leave that environment. Their instincts will tell them to stay where their life support system is. Because animals have a strong survival instinct, so they'll do what they need to do to survive. So part of that survival instinct is, you know, stay where your life support is. And what I'm also hoping, and soon we're going to be doing the next phase of construction on the bog here, getting our wood in position and all that to build the frame and stuff. Once we have the bog in, there's going to be all sorts of plants growing out of the bog just like this. And what we're hoping is that maybe these froggies will mate in there and have some little froggies, and then we can sell frogs to the pet stores and stuff. So I think that that is going to be really cool. And those things up there, that's our Cana. That's been multiplying in there like crazy. We've also got Cana multiplying outside. Cana's a subtropical plant, so obviously we have to bring it in for the winter. But yeah. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but we raise microworms in here. Now, we take oatmeal and put it in there. Now the microworms, see where it looks like the light is shimmering on the oatmeal? That's not light shimmer. That's microworms. When I say microworms, I mean microworms. You can get them on eBay for like $1 if you just search for microworms. And of course, in the oatmeal, and here's another one of your nice little childhood ruin moments. In the oatmeal, there are really, really tiny fruit fly eggs. So yes, when you eat oatmeal, you're also eating fruit fly eggs. They're just too small for you to notice. And they could go dormant for a long, long, long time. And, you know, just add water, and the little bitty wormy things that are visible that are crawling around, those are the maggots. And as you may or may not be able to see, there's little fruit flies that are created from that, and they're everywhere in here. But that's okay, because besides having fly paper, I just put a couple of new ones up today, now we have froggies. And frogs love flies, as you know. So, we got 2 frogs from Richard Riley's place. Another 2 frogs from when Dad and Katie went to Bussy Woods. And now they went back again and caught another 3 frogs. So we're really getting our frog action up in here, so that's cool. That's cool. And I am hoping that they will breed. Yes, there's Froggy looking right at me. Hello, buddy. Now, obviously, having these frogs in here now, I have to be careful to do everything around here very slowly and not make a lot of sudden movements. Because if a frog is in a position like, you know, sitting up there where he's at, and if I were to make a sudden movement and he jumped toward me on an angle to try to get away, yeah, he could just out, he or she, whatever it is, just out of a reflex action, jump out of the environment. And then I'd have to go, you know, around the room and try to catch him and shit, and that would be a pain in the ass. So I'm going to do my best to not startle the froggies. And they will just stay in here, because this is their life support system. And they are happy with their environment. And of course we got goldfish in here too. Now I'm going to drop some food in here so that you can see the goldfish. Here they come. Well, some of them did anyway. They get a bit lazy sometimes. But yeah, we did see some of them come, and we see some of the silhouettes of some of them in there, where you see the orange and the white and stuff like that. The goldfish do get a little lazy sometimes. And here's one of my blog prototypes, which is doing pretty well. Got one of these types of lights in here. It's not a purple and blue light. The light coming out of it's purple and blue, but the bulbs are actually clear, because the color comes from the type of light it is. And those are grow lights. They're 4 watts. They're really cheap. They're only a few bucks a bulb. As we can see, the aquaponic filtering system is doing pretty good. There's some bamboo coming up out of there, so that's cool. Got a whole bunch of things that are doing really well. And as we can see, other than the glare factor, which I apologize for, the water is crystal clear. There's the surface of the water. We have another one of the frogs right here. Oop, he just took off. There's another one there. So yep, we got all kinds of frog action up in here. This is cool. And having the dehumidifier here makes life much easier. As you can see, I just emptied it, putting it back in, and you can hear it start back up. Eventually, I'm going to be very carefully drilling a hole about right there or so, and running a piece of PVC pipe in, which is then going to dump directly into the pond so that it will then self-empty. So, there we go.
There's no point in talking about Linux if I can't edit my videos in recorded Linux. I would say the Windows counterpart would be Sony Vegas Pro, and that's saying a lot. Caden, I.